Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, it's a terrible day for walking, although I was out walking a minute ago and I got quite wet. And so then I thought, you know what, I'm going to get my side by side. So here I am. Hang on, it's probably quite loud, is it? Let me just show you where I am. There, I'm up on our property here in the back. You can see all of the ghouls here. And we're going to call this segment now Side by Side with Sheila. This is great, isn't it? Okay, hang on now. Let me just have a little turn around here. So, how are you doing? What a week I've had. So, I'm going to tell you firstly, last week after I spoke to you, uh, just one second, I'm going to turn this off so that we're not crucified by the sound. Last week after I spoke to you, I got a message in my inbox. And remember the time that we were talking about Kraft dinner and macaroni and cheese and all of these things? Uh, well, I got a message in my inbox that said, Sheila, I have a surprise for you, and I wonder if you might come and pick it up. Oh my God, I'd love to. And so anyway, it was an old friend, and so it was Janelle Stratty, and she and her mom Ruth, they had made for me macaroni and cheese. Well, I'm going to tell you something, and that's not too. Mom made a beautiful macaroni and cheese. I told you about this. Now, I told you about my love for Kraft dinner. Well, this macaroni and cheese was, I'm not going to say it was better than Mom's, but by God, it was coming in on it. It was very, very good. And so anyway, they gave me a little dish sort of thing that could probably feed four. So I ate that myself over the course of 3 days. I spared it along. Oh, I'm going to tell you what, it was gorgeous. Anyway, so that happened last week. And still, going along today, let's not forget that uh, today's a national holiday, and it's the day for truth and reconciliation. And it's a very important time where we consider all the devastation that happened to our First Nations, the Innu, Mi'kmaq, and Métis. So we'll be mindful of those people today and all the terrible things that happened as we try and spread joy in our lives. And anyway, it seems to stop raining now. I'm going to get out. Hang on. I thought I called this side by side with Sheila. I don't know if I said that. My head is gone. It has stopped raining. So anyway, someone said to me this week, they reminded me of a story that I used to tell, and I thought I can't wait to tell the crowd about it. And years ago, I used to work at St. Pat's Mercy Home as a music therapist. I worked there for a year, and I had a friend, and her name was Sister Patricia Marie. And she and I would meet. She worked there as the volunteer coordinator, and she and I would meet every day around 3:30, and solve the world's issues, and then go home 4 o'clock. It's that sort of thing. We'd sit down, we'd have our Diet Pepsi and a bag of chips between us, like I needed that every day at 3:30. But anyway, that didn't stop me. I had it anyway. So we had that, and then we'd talk about all the issues going on, and get back to the business at hand and go home and have our supper. And so anyway, years before this, two babies were dropped off to Bonaventure Convent. You may have heard that story. I wonder if you have. Uh, they were dropped off to Bonaventure Convent in a basket and asked the nuns to take care of these twins. Do you remember this? If you do, write it in the comments. And if you have more information than I do, I'd love to hear it. And so anyway, they were asked to mind the two children. And now, when I met Sister Patricia Marie and we were solving the issues of the world, that woman, one of those twins had passed in her older years, and the other one was 78 or 9. Like she was quite, reaching maturity with her age, we'll say. And so, anyway, but they were very childlike, these women. They didn't, whilst they tried to educate them, they didn't really know, left and right and money and one from two from three, but they lived with the nuns all their lives and then went on to live at St. Patrick's Mercy Home. And anyway, when Sister Patricia Marie was going to Mun one morning, she called down through the dumb waiter in the convent. She said, "Mary, I wonder if you'll send up two slices of bread. I'm going to be at Memorial today, and I don't know if we'll get a chance to eat." And so anyway, Mary said, "All right." And so up comes the dumbwaiter, one slice of bread on it. And Patricia Marie was a stout woman, a good solid woman who's used to a bit of grub. And anyway, she called back down and she said, "Mary, that was one slice. I've asked for two." She said, "One's enough for you. Look at the size of the hips on you." And then she'd take this big inhale like this, telling her off. And anyway, she's very clever in that way. And so anyway, when I got to St. Pat's Mercy Home, she was uh, she was a bit jealous of our relationship. And so anyway, I had my hair done so nice this morning. Anyway, she didn't like the fact that Sister Patricia Marie and I would sit and talk every day. Like that went right against her altogether. How is it that this girl can come in here and take over, my sort of position? And so anyway, when I would go up to the fourth floor, she didn't want to see me at all. And she'd look at me and she'd say, "What are you doing up here with that there?" And then she'd sniff in, and I'd say, "No, no, I'm not here to see you. I'm here to see someone else. We don't need that up here." Because the fourth floor was sort of the floor for those people who would rent, and they were level one, we'll say. And so anyway, she wasn't while she wasn't clever in some things, she was very clever in others. And her birthday was coming. And so while she didn't like me, she knew that others did. And so anyway, she tried to be nice to me. And it was so wrong, it just looked so wrong. It was like putting lipstick on a pig. And so anyway, she'd say, "Sheila." And I said, "Yes, Mary, yes." She said, "My birthday's coming up." "Oh," I said, "I know, I know, I know." And she said, "I was wondering." I said, "Yes, go ahead, please." She said, and it was on a night, in an evening, she said, "I was wondering if you might come over and bring your car." I said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "I'd love that. Yes." I said, "It's a little party, is it?" And she said, "Yeah, well, we're having a few people." Well, I said, "If I were going to get you something for your birthday," I said, "what would it be?" She said, "Well, I'm very fond of money." I said, "Yes, aren't we all?" She said, "Especially the blue ones." The blue ones were the $5, you see, because she used to be able to go to a little shop there in the square. Montes, I think it was called. I can't remember now. And anyway, it was a little store where she'd buy these rip-off tickets. Nevada, Nevada. And so anyway, she wanted the $5. That's all she was allowed at the time, $5 at a time. And she'd go over and buy these tickets. Now listen to me. So anyway, I went to the party, and oh, she was as nice as nicest woman you ever met, and going around, "Oh, Sheila's grand, and Sheila's this, and Sheila's that." Next day, up to the fourth floor. "What are you doing up here with that car?" Back to normal. You see, this is what I'm saying. I'm going to have to get into the side by side again. And I'll tell you why. There's been some complaining last week about the smell of cow manure. Now, I don't know why they'd ever complain about that. However, if you think you got it bad, just size up this. Now, that's as fresh as anything you ever saw. and it's just like a poison. I'm telling you what. I mean, so yes, it's all right for you up there in the subdivision. Hang on, I'll show you up there. But picture if you were parked right next to it. Different game of jacks altogether. So anyway, I will tell you here in the back. Look, my uncle and my brother are getting some cabbage ready to sell. But speaking of selling, last week I was up to see, I was walking along and Tommy Williams stopped me and gave me some corn. Now, do you know who Tommy Williams is, I wonder? He has that little sort of shack there. He put up a shingle there next to Wayne Williams's old barn. It was where pitchers used to have their little uh, gas station or service station. Anyway, he put up a shack there and he sells produce as well. And he gave me some corn, and it was the nicest thing you ever put in your mouth you know. And so anyway, gorgeous. If you want a little bit of fresh corn or vegetables, get it from him because our stuff is, we don't have that much of vegetables that we're selling it out by the road. But he does. And he's also selling pumpkins. Well, what a time to get your little pumpkin shop local. This is my thought. Anyway, now before I go, I will tell you, since I'm in my side by side, I know it's exciting. Hang on, wait, I'll put it on. Just because I know some of you probably think I can't drive it, but I can. I got my parking brake on here now. Look at me in my side by side. So anyway, I got a little story, a song, especially for this occasion. And it was, oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along singing a song side by side. So you all remember that song, yes? I know you do. So anyway, I was on the internet last week, my toe. It was last year, I'm sure it was, because I had time enough to learn the song. And anyway, the song went like this. Oh, hang on now. Well, I got married last Friday. Me and my man stood beside me. My friends were all gone and we were alone, side by side. We were happily wed when we got ready for bed. Then his teeth and his hair he placed in a chair, side by side. One glass eye so tiny, one hearing aid so small. Then he took his leg off and placed it on the chair by the wall. Well, now I stood there broken hearted. Most of my men had departed, so I slept in the chair. There was most of them there, side by side. I know, delightful, isn't it? Anyway, listen, I hope you have a wonderful week. Please God, it'll be a nice week and not raining. Look, you can see somewhere there that I did have my hair done. Got my lipstick on, for God's sake. I hope you have a wonderful week. Love to you.